So here are the supplies we're going to need for our Christmas Magnolia Wreath. Now I've got some magnolia flowers. I have the magnolia leaves, and you can see they are originally green, and I painted some of them gold so that it had the two different colors. And then we're going to use this beautiful burlap ribbon with some burgundy edging on it. All my colors this year are burgundy and emerald green. So I have this emerald green and the burgundy ribbon. And I'm also going to use a couple of these leftover cruffles that I made that I didn't use in a project before. And I'm just going to set these in the middle of my Christmas tree form just to give it a little bit more gold in it. So to start off, you're going to need a couple of Dollar Tree Christmas trees. And I put them together with some zip ties, staggering them so that it makes them a little bit longer and more of a teardrop shape. And this one branch up here, I'm going to leave this over the metal bar up here like this. And I'm going to put my bow up here so you won't be able to see the metal anyway. But I just want to make sure that I can hide it with this branch. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my cruffles. I'm going to place this right around the top half of it. I'm just going to use a branch to twist around it and hold it together. And then I'll spread it out. And then I'm going to use the other one, and I'm going to do the same thing further down. That way it covers basically the entire middle portion. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I want to take some of my green ribbon and I want to weave it through. Just going to use the branches to hold it. It's going to make some loops. I'm just going to twist the branches around it. And you want to do this, I'm going to from the sides all the way around. And I'm also kind of staggering it a little bit. I don't want to make it too uniform. Before I start on the other side, I'm going to let this side hang. So I'm going to cut this, and I want to dovetail it. So I'm going to fold it and cut that dovetail. And I'll just leave this to hang. And if you think it's too long, you can always bring it in here and make another loop. I'll make a little small one right there. And then I'll go on the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to cut another piece the same length as the other side, and then I'll dovetail that as well. My scissors are not as sharp as they used to be. So this is what we have so far. I'm going to set it aside so I can make a bow. This one is 2.5 inches wide, and my emerald green ribbon is a 1.5 inch wide velvet. Okay, so I'm going to unravel this a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to take about a 10-inch tail, pinch it together, and just start making some loops. See, and I want my loops to be about 4.5 inches, 5 inches. And I'm just pulling the loops again. I'm holding it between my thumb and my index finger, and then I twist so that I get the pretty side of the ribbon, and just twist it. Pinch it in there and hold it really tight. Get together. Make another loop, and then I'm going to twist it again. And I want to make sure that my tail here is about the same size as the same length as the other one. And then to secure it, I'm going to put a zip tie around it. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and put a pipe cleaner around it. Pull it up and just take them and twist them really, really tight. And give it at least 4 or 5 twists. Make sure it's tight. And then I'll dovetail the ends. And this will be the bow for the top, the main bow. And I'm going to make another bow out of the green velvet to put on top of this. So I'll set that one aside and then start on the green velvet. For this one, I'm going to make my tail about 8 inches. And you'll just do the same thing, pinching it and start making the loops. And then the loops I'll make a little bit smaller as well. Okay, so I found my zip ties, and I want to go ahead and zip tie my bows because I want to make sure that they are secure. I'm just going to take this pull it really, really tight. And then I'll use the pipe cleaner to attach it to the swag. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Except for this one, I think I'm going to take the pipe cleaner off. Because I'll use it afterwards to attach it to the other bow. And I'm going to refluff these up later, but straighten them up a little bit. Okay, and then I'll put my pipe cleaner back around it and just give it a couple of twists for now. Okay, and before we attach the bows to the top of the swag, I'm going to take a zip tie, well, 2 zip ties, and I want to make a loop to hang this with. So I'm going to wrap this zip tie around where I put this branch up at the top to hide the bar. It's going to help to keep it snug on here. I just want to zip it a little bit first, and then I'm going to take another zip tie and I'm going to loop this one underneath it. And I want to just zip it a couple little notches. Okay, and then I'll take the other one, and I want to make sure that this little notch here is on the bottom part. And I'm going to tighten up that first one. Tighten it really, really tight. Okay, and so that gives you your loop that you can hang your swag from. If you prefer to use wire, you can do that. I just think the zip tie is pretty easy and it holds really well. So the next thing I'm going to do is attach my bow to this bar at the top. Bring it in. I'm going to pull this loop out of my way so I can pull the pipe cleaner really tight around it. And I'm going to give it several twists. And then using the pipe cleaners on this bow, I'm going to place this one on top of this bow and bring it around the back, making sure my loop is out of the way. I'm going to pull that really tight and give it some twists. Then I'll probably twist both of these together just to give it a little bit extra security. And then I'll cut this off and just push it back. So the next thing I want to do is start putting in my leaves. So what I did was I took the leaves off of a magnolia bush that I had with magnolia flowers, and I painted some of them with this gold metallic paint. And then I left some of them original, green. So I'm going to start off by putting this one right into this bow. And so I put this magnolia flower right on in the middle and the center of that bow. So in order to make that stay, I'm going to have to hot glue it. But before I do that, I just want to go and I'm going to add another bow of this red burlap ribbon to the bottom where we put our tails. I just want to do a small bow. I want to put it right here on the bottom to secure all this together and let it hang. So for that, I think I will put my tails to hang lower than the other ones. So I'm gonna make my tails about 12 inches, 12 to 13 inches long. And then I'll pinch it and then make a loop. And let's see how large my loop. Yeah, about 3.5 inch loop. And I'm only gonna make 2 loops. Okay. Now I'll cut the bottom, this tail. And then use a zip tie. Okay. And then I'll dovetail my ends. I'm just going to do them together by just putting them one on top of the other and then cut my dovetail. Okay. Now I will use another pipe cleaner. Wrap it around. Give it a couple of twists, and then I'll use it to attach it to the bottom of my swag. And I'll cut it off about a 1/2 inch from the bottom and then just tuck those away. That'll give us a nice little bow and tail at the end, and they'll hang off the end of our swag. Okay, and so now I'm going to go in with my glue gun and we're going to glue on our magnolias. And then we'll see if there's anything else that our swag might need. Yeah, if we need any more ribbon or embellishments. Okay, so I have my glue gun ready and I'm going to glue these leaves in here first. Just glue that right inside on top of our velvet bow. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these leaves, except I'm going to turn them so that they're facing, so they don't hide the gold leaves. Now I will glue my magnolia right in the center. And I'm going to turn it, I'm going to prop it up a little bit so I can see. I'm going to put one right here and then glue one over here on this side. So I'll just do the same thing. This time I'm going to put the green leaves first, and then I'll put the gold on top of the green. Okay, so I took my ribbon and I cut another 18-inch strip, and I want to go in and fill a couple of little spaces here with this ribbon. So with this 18-inch, how I did this was just dovetailing the ends. And then I'm just going to make a loop at the top with it. And then with the tail that's behind here, I'm just going to give it a twist and turn it to the front. So, and then I have a couple of these little pieces of here that I had cut off. I'm going to use those just to secure that loop together. Just turn it. And I'll just bend it up out of the way. Flip out the bow. And then I'll just use a branch to attach this loop right here in this hole. And then I'll spread out my tails. And that'll cover that little space right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here at the top. Okay, and at this point you can go in and add some more ornaments to it if you'd like. Red, gold, green ornaments would look beautiful on here. And I think I'm going to make one more bow out of the green velvet, and I'm going to put it in the back behind here so that it fans out a little bit more on top. I just want that top part to be a little bit wider. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm just making the bow the same way that I made the other ones. But this time I'll probably put, I'll make 6 or 8 loops with it, and I want to make my loops a little bit wider. See, I'll make my tail probably about 10 inches, and then make sure my loops are a little bit bigger so that they show behind there. Check it. It's coming out the middle here. Yeah, that's better. So my loop would be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 inches. Now, turn this over. And make sure your loop is not in your way. Make sure my tails are opposite there. Okay. Let that dry for a few minutes. Make sure it's secure. And then when I turn it over, I'll fluff it out and I'll hang it up so you can see what it looks like. So here's the swag hanging on my door. And you can see I added a little bit of these, a few of this thin gold ribbon to it, just to give it a little bit more color. So thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please give me a thumbs up because that really helps my channel. And don't forget to comment below and let me know what you think. Happy crafting!